Survival games come out as often as MMORPGs, and every time I'm interested to see if they differ from each other in at least something, or how they are stamped on the same machine from modern MMOs. It was known about Undawn Survival a few years ago. She was then actively promoted, beautiful trailers were shown, attracted attention in every possible way. And now, a few years later, her first closed testing finally began. It started yesterday, is available to the whole world, and there is only English here. Other languages are not expected at all yet. In the future, it is also unclear whether there will be Russians, but with English everything is more or less clear. You can download the game either on a PC or on Android, because we have a cross-platform game. iPhones are still in flight. I have already watched a lot of games in the genre of survival, and in my opinion they practically do not differ from each other. You still need to craft, still try to develop your character and level up. Let's see if there are any differences here or if it will be the same typical survivor. Since we have a cross-platform game, I launched it on a PC in order to see the graphics and all the bells and whistles. The graphics are in the area of 2010 year, not nasty, but not super fancy, just such a confident average. We start by choosing our character. We can choose a boy or a girl, choose his appearance. By the way, for a typical survivor, the character editor is too fancy. You can crumple your face any way you want, you can customize any appearance, try on a few outfits, get tattoos, accessories, and so on. In general, you can hang in the editor for a long time. Well, then we dive into the typical chain of initial training. We pass quests, learn to craft, learn to build machines, learn to collect resources and shoot zombies. Along the way, we go through a couple of story missions and finally a big open world opens up before us. Well, supposedly a big open. First of all, let's talk about crafting, because we still have a survival game here, where we will have to craft different resources and materials most of the time. And we have our house for crafting. The house is located first in one area, then it is moved to another area, and here we have our base, where we will rebuild everything. This whole area is suitable for building. Here we have a tree house where you can sleep and cook. It doesn't seem to belong to us, but we can spend the night there. Everything we need can be built here through the editor button, but if we need some materials, then there are different machines for this. Machines for crafting materials, machines for crafting weapons and armor, machines for repairing our weapons and armor, machines for printing recipes, and much more. There are a lot of machines here. God forbid I have crafted a third, probably 10 more different machines will definitely be available in stock. There is such a mechanic in any survival game, you definitely can't go wrong here. If you need something, put the machine you need and craft. All resources, be it wood, food, stone, various other ores, everything is mined in the fields on this map. Also, our character has some needs, such as going to the toilet, exercising, washing clothes, and all this is displayed here in the navigator. Naturally, we can wash clothes both in the river and in the bath, just lie down in it for a while. If we suddenly need to go to the toilet, then we need to put a toilet, which is natural. Well, if we need to sleep or regrow HP, then for this we will need a bed. It's just like in real life, actually. Also from RPG elements we have the opportunity to pump our weapons here. We can sharpen it. It is sharpened with a certain restriction, at the 10th level up to a maximum of +6, at the 20th it will be higher. Additional modules can be inserted into weapons, they can be upgraded if you have a recipe for this upgrade, and these modules can also be inserted into equipment, and they can also be upgraded if you have additional equipment. We have 3 kinds of skills. These are throwing skills, skills of different devices, and passive skills. Throwing is different grenades, Molotov cocktails, and other things. Devices are turrets, mines, and passive ones are different ways of moving, increasing the penetration ability, and so on. There are also perks. This is damage to doors, increased health, increased armor, and so on. Of course there are vehicles. At the start, you are given such a motorcycle, then you can open a car or another motorcycle. There is no special point in this, because their speed varies a little, but the maps are not so big that they can directly park in the right vehicle. Naturally there are appearances. Since we have a PDA here, I have the opportunity to open all the available looks for my character. These are both ready-made costumes and individual elements, all sorts of hats, hairstyles, and so on. In general, you can choose to wear whatever you like or don't like. There are also looks for a backpack and there are looks for weapons. Well, what is pumping based on here in principle? Pumping is built, oddly enough, in a survival game on story quests, plot quests and a couple of side activities that you will go through every day. The plot ends very quickly and rests on the cap. Let's say you need the 14th level, and you have the 13th. So we go into activity and see what is there during the day. Unfortunately, it can only be on the PDA. There are only 10 pieces of activity here. They open during the day at a certain time, which is also not very good and gives very few rewards. Let's say you went through a dance with other party members, got a lot of experience, took a couple of levels and that's it. Then you have nowhere to take the experience and scoring a cap on the experience for this day. You will just hang around all day doing nothing, because you will have nothing to do. You have completed all the activities, you have completed all the quests, and you are presented simply to yourself. And the activities themselves are simple. We have a dungeon, as I said, for 4 people, where you pass mobs, kill the boss at the end, get rewards. We have different daily missions, which are also based mainly on killing different zombies and so on. Without this, it will only be necessary to vacuum the map, as according to the best precepts of Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. We have towers, radio towers that you will have to open new sections of the map. These are the blue zones that open on the left. These are missions where you just kill zombies, bosses, and get rewards. There are teleportation points or stops that you will have to open and that's it, everything in principle. Well, a couple more hidden quests that are closed at these locations. That is, they passed the plot, passed 10 daily missions, opened locations, and then presented themselves. Well, of course, there are still a lot of activities for fans of vacuuming everything that is, like in some kind of aura fantasy. We have a gallery, these are photos. Run around different locations, looking for a symbol where you need to take a picture of something, take a picture. We have something like a bestiary, we need to find books, notes, voice recordings, newspapers. All this will have to be found somewhere, collected somewhere, read, and then you will be given additional rewards. Well, of course it was not without a donation. We have a combat pass that gives you a bunch of different nishtiaks and power-ups for your character. We have a separate store where you can buy special currency, game currency, you can buy resources, you can buy materials to improve your character. In general, everything here is bought for donut. Because, in principle, this is a solo game and you don't have much to compete with here, there is no PvP here. We also have a gacha for a suit. In addition, you can get an exterior for such an AK-47 fire and some unique resources, such as windows for your home. Here you can also buy materials for your home. There's wallpaper, walls, various animals, furniture, and so on. So in the end it looks good. It seems that there are some activities, but there are few of them. It seems there is some kind of crafting, but it is quite limited. It seems there is something to do, but these activities are also quite limited. From the pleasant, I liked the soundtrack. It's pleasant, relaxing here. The music is generally high. Out of the unpleasant, you played for an hour or 2 a day and that's it. There's nothing else to do. You collect resources, you craft, you collect resources. That's it. This is such a vicious circle, apparently, of all the survival games that were released on phones. I wish there would be more variety. Some events would be added, some quests would be added, I don't know. More party content, maybe more PvP modes, something else. In general, so that there is at least some variety, so that it is more interesting to play. That's all from me. As always, it will be interesting to listen to your opinion. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, put likes and bang the bell. Tarian was with you. Bye to everyone.